All right, that should be fine, I think. JigDev, hey buddy. Give me guys 1 second, just starting out here. Let me just, okay, we're good on YouTube. Let me just kind of configure these lights a little bit more. Good man, good. Just took a walk with my wife and kids and went to the store, bought some stuff, and I'm now back with you guys here. Alrighty, great, super. Let's kind of move this away and let's kind of get back here. Let me actually just pin the programmer network URL here. So if I say website, let's kind of pin that. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. No, we're not traveling anywhere, shoots them for Christmas. We just decided to kind of stay here and chill out. And I'm off now for 2 weeks from work. So it's going to be a lot of reading of books, and I have a bunch of books that I have to finish reading and some new ones that I started. So it's going to be a lot of, yeah, it's going to be a lot of, just, yeah, just staying home. And, I'm actually very happy for that. Looking forward to, I have some very good books that I want to finish reading. And then, yeah, give me just 1 sec. Let me just do one thing. I want to project one of the sources to my, I'm almost done.
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
Oh, nice. Okay. Did you guys see that? Okay, actually good. I wanted to see how that looks like. Welcome to the crew. Nice. Did you guys see on my screen? Ah, shit, you didn't. Crap. Thank you very much, Noob Dev, for the follow. But I programmed some pretty awesome like sounds and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a new thing. It's a new thing I programmed. Hey there. Give me 1 second. Ah, okay, it works. Very good, very good. Next time, wait, give me a second. Elgato. Yeah, okay. So basically, I spent some time off stream. I was kind of trying to improve. Give me 1 second. I was kind of trying to improve. So let me actually show you what I've done. So if I kind of go here.
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
Oh, there it works. Yes, there you go. Nice, nice. Okay, good. So basically, I was, you know that I'm not a typical streamer. I don't care about this thing much. But I took a little time and I wrote a new repository for these kind of overlays. I made my own overlays and I added sounds. So as you can see, these two guys that just, I can actually illustrate it for you. So if I go back to this guy, and let's imagine one of you have actually subscribed.
Subscription protocol engaged. Welcome to the core network.
What do you guys think? I wanted to make it super nerdy. So it's basically, yeah, I created these, I created a little, I made these using code primarily, right? And this is how the follow is.
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
I don't know. I think it's super nerdy. I like it. I kind of generated the sound. I generated sounds with AI. Basically what I did, I went to 11 labs here. And you can see like here I said, follower detected, programmer network expanded, right? And then you can say, hey, I'm using this EVA futuristic robot. You can say generate speech. And then, so that's kind of, and then I build.
Detected. Programmer network expanded.
You see?
Follower detected. Programmer network expanded.
Maybe not overlaying. Exactly. I wasn't sure where to put it. So thank you very much for that feedback. Let me kind of move it then. Over here. Because I just didn't find myself to be too important. So that's why. Okay, I have moved it now. Let me just, before we start coding today, Let me just give it a shot so you guys give me some feedback. So if I do this again.
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
Is this fine? Better, okay? Let me try the subscription one. I need to finish a couple of others.
Subscription protocol engaged. Welcome to the core network.
Nice. Dude, yes. It works. Okay, good. Because it is I'll open source this thing as soon as I finish. It's just a Vita project with some JavaScript and some animations and stuff like that. So, okay, good. That works. That's super good. That's great. Cool. Okay, well, hey everybody. Good. That's great.
Subscription protocol engaged. Welcome to the core network.
Yes. Thank you, Shootsdem. Nice. Great. Super. Okay, so basically what's new on my side, because I typically now stream only in the weekends. So as I was sharing on Programmer Network, I'm reading the ultra learning book now, and essentially it's a very good book. They are actually reading 3 books at this moment. 2 others are not related to learning. So it's a very good book. I would highly advise you to buy it and read it. And I will speak a lot about this in the upcoming streams about meta learning and other things. And what I actually want to do today in the stream, I'm trying to now conceptualize this book into a product. So I'm trying to build. So essentially, in simple words, before we start coding today, let's just speak a little bit about my predictions for the future. So I think that meta learning is probably the most important skill today. So essentially, like learning how to learn. And because we have all of these amazing tools like AI and Gemini and guided learning, applying the principles from books like this is going to be absolutely crucial for all of us to kind of survive in this very oversaturated, very competitive market where AI is starting to dominate a lot of things, right? So when it comes to this book speaks about, how, in simple words, how do you learn very fast, very effectively? What do you learn? What do you focus on? What do you not focus on? Even more importantly, et cetera, et cetera. And when you think about meta learning, you basically, essentially the core, I think, value for the future of humankind, for all of us individually, myself included, is going to be how quickly can I learn things that I need short-term and long-term, and how do I know if I need them, and how can I, even more importantly, not learn something that I don't need, right? So due to that, I started POC, I started prototyping a little bit today. Where is it? With Gemini. So let me show you, let me kind of illustrate the idea. I started kind of prototyping something that we're going to now build as part of Programmer Network. But think about it this way. So whenever you start learn, and the reason why I actually started doing this is because of the community of this stream as well, because I think one of the most common questions here is like, how do I learn this, or how do I focus on my projects and finish them, blah 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 blah. So this is the most common thing, right? There are 3 things really that you have to do when you're learning something new. You have to ask why, how, and then what, right? So these are the 3 core questions you have to answer whenever you want to learn something, right? And I'll show you in this POC that I'm building now, that we're gonna now move in. I'll show you this little I'm just doing some vibe coding, if you may, right? So you need to answer these 3 questions, and then you need to find some reasoning. Why are you learning something? Is it intrinsic value? Does it have the outcome-based value? So hey, I want to learn Kubernetes because that's gonna help me in my career right now and in the next 5 years. Or I'm learning, let's say, Kubernetes because I've heard about it from a content creator, right? So this, of course, is I think this very question is why many people fail to actually learn anything, is that you get into without actually really answering the first core question. Why the hell am I learning it? Then how, and then what, right? So when we take a look at this little crap that I started just prototyping with, then we're gonna code it. So you can see to master a hard skill, you must split it. Ideas need understanding. And this framework that this Scott Young in this ultra learning book speaks about, he says break things into 3 different categories, right? So conceptual, basically draw a table, facts, and he calls it procedures. So for example, whenever you are trying to learn something new, you break it into 3 fields. So conceptual things, things that you must understand. So for example, if you're learning Kubernetes, you need to understand the what that is for, what problems does it solve, how does it go along your current knowledge that you know, which problems again is it solving, etc. Then the facts and then the procedures, we're gonna see that in a second. So if I skip to here, to this thing here, we can see to master a hard skill, you must split it. Ideas need understanding, concepts, information needs memory, facts, and actions need procedures. And I think in my experience and also interfacing with you guys on this stream is that most people fail at procedures. So for example, in this book, I read a very good saying. It says, passive learning yields knowledge, active learning yields skill. So in simple words, you can watch my stream for 10 hours if I would stream, and the amount of knowledge that you may be going to get, it might be big, like some theoretical information, but the amount of skill that you're going to get is 0. So essentially, skill is something that you acquire by doing things, right? So that's why throughout my streams, when I spoke about this before, we spoke about, okay, how do I get better at X? Well, you get better at X or programming by doing it. And this is what the procedures is, actions, right? So if we go back here, this is just a POC demo. This is not like a coded app or anything. You can say, hey, I want to learn Kubernetes. And then throughout this like ultra learning process, there's another framework that he calls benchmarking and something else. I didn't memorize it yet. But I'll share it, where you kind of break things that, okay, I'm learning a new concept. These are the absolutely things I should learn now, and these are things that I shouldn't learn now. So in this POC example, it's like, hey, I should learn system primitives, failure recovery, state management. I should definitely not do surface level CLI, sugar, legacy support, blah, blah. Then you say initialize. And then, so this is not like this is what we're going to build in Programmer Network today. But the idea is that you build something that you can do benchmarking against. Benchmarking as in, okay, I'm learning X. How do I constantly get feedback? Am I learning it? So for example, imagine that this was an actual app. You say core mental model, whatever the core mental model is, doesn't matter. Then here you have to verify, do I actually understand? So basically, as you're learning things, you need to create a feedback loop for yourself so you can in fact see, am I in fact learning, right? So what we're going to do today, hopefully, and then there's also this review board where you almost like with these like cards that switch. So name the mandatory fields of resilient deployment. Then you click it, it says, was this question hard, easy, whatever. We'll kind of figure out how we do this. But basically, it's just, if I go back to this thing, it's called space repetition. So this is one of the mechanisms of learning where you can actually create these cards, like a flashcards. Basically, spaced repetition is a set of flashcards that you can use as one of the methods of learning where you can kind of use them to memorize things, right? So it's like, okay, what is there's a question, and then on the other side of the card, there's an answer. So flashcards or whatever, right? So this is kind of the idea, and this is the idea of, and then of course, as I said, there's the concepts, facts, and procedures, and this is the table that the author in the book speaks about, is that you need to break these things into things. Okay, I'm learning X, these are the things I have to understand, these are the things that I have to memorize, and then these are the things that I have to repeat a million times. So think about it this way, if this was tennis, in tennis, I need to conceptualize what does it mean to play tennis. That means I need to know that tennis means running, front and back, left and right on the tennis court. There's an opponent on the other side of the net. I need to serve like this. Facts memory is memorizing certain things like, oh, my coach told me to put my knees down, not to fall back on the, on the ball, not to be too further away from the ball. And then the procedures would be hitting that ball a million times. So that is the practice. That is like, man, I need to hit that forehand a million times, until I actually know how to hit a front end. So forehand, sorry, not front end. So that's kind of the principle that applies to everything in learning, also programming in our context here as well. So I think it's a very good system to yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I think today in a stream, this is just a POC. I don't want to start moving it to cursor yet until I figure out what it is that I want. But I think so far it's good, and it's gonna basically start like this. What do I want to learn? I want to learn Golang. mastery objective, Go routines. Let's imagine technical context. I want to XYZ. This is just a demo. And then basically we're going to use AI to create these types of things, right? So, and then it's going to do this. I hope it makes sense. Give me 2 seconds.
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Give me 2 seconds that before we start doing this thing. Okay, cool. All right, let's get started with that. So, I'm supposed to ban this guy, right? This is a bot, right? How do I ban people? Ban, and then this, right? Yeah. I mean, right now we're just gonna stay here. Right now, so let's kind of start building this. Right now, we're gonna just stay in this. We don't care how it looks like. Let's just kind of try to define what it is that this mini app we want it to be. Let's also make this a dark app, not white. Let's kind of play with this a bit because I need to turn this book now into the actual app. Victor, hey buddy, thank you very much for the follow, man. Hope you're having a good time. So what we're gonna do now is, I think, again, I want this as part of our platform, as part of our programming network, because I'm already reading news on programming network. So I also want to have this. So whenever I start learning something new, I ensure that I follow this framework of learning until it becomes my very much a go-to thing, until I so internalize it really well, right? So we're gonna now focus on this a bit. And then we're going to start coding it for real. Let's just focus on, okay, so let me just draw a little bit here what it is that I want. So I'm a user, I'm a person that wants to learn something, right? So there's a person that wants to learn something. And then we ask why. Why are you learning? Oh, shit. Okay. Why do you want to learn it, right? And then, as I said, and give me a second. Just if I grab my my ink tablet, I wrote some notes. So I'm just gonna. I actually literally don't remember. There's intrinsic reasons, and then something else. So yeah, so there's a method that's called benchmarking and the emphasis exclude method. So that's the method that we're gonna use. But then there is space repetition software. Give me a second. Yeah, so there's instrumental versus intrinsic reasons. So let's write that down. So let's say here, instrumental versus intrinsic reason. So this is where we kind of have to figure out, is the user learning something because they want to, let's say, explore, expand their careers, get their first job, get better at certain skills for their current role so they can advance, or if it's instrumental, if it's intrinsic, meaning do they just want to learn something because of the learning? So it's not the outcome-based thing, it's right. So here, is it outcome-based or learning-based, right? I want to master something without any concrete reason. I might need it one day. So imagine you say, I want to learn French, right? That's probably not the most useful thing you can learn today, but then you say, well, maybe one day I'll travel to France and I'll need it, right? So we say, why do you want to learn it? And then I guess if we actually go back here where we're trying to POC this thing, So basically here we're going to do kind of some sort of filtering. Let's say see if it's a good idea for the user to spend their time there or not. If yes, so we say if a good idea, generate a generate whatever, how we want to call it, course following the, give me 2 seconds, let me just read the note. How is the model called? It's called benchmarking, and the emphasis, generate the emphasize, exclude method. And then also we want to generate some and spaced repetition flashcards for the given subject in question. All right, cool. Let me now go back to AI and see, okay, what else are we forgetting in the context of this app? What questions are we not asking? Are we missing some useful stuff from the book or in general that could enhance this very app? Let's kind of stay in this research mode. And as Scott Young in this book says, typically for meta learning, you should take around 5-10% of your total time should be spent on meta learning, basically. So on research, if you may. So you want to learn a concept, you should spend, so if you're going to spend 100 hours learning something new, it's going to take you 100 hours to learn something new. 5 to 10 hours, around 10 hours you should spend on actually researching. And of course, you need to kind of find a balance not to procrastinate at that given time, meaning if you see that the research that you're doing it for the sole sake of not starting something new, you need to be very careful. Okay, we built a solid skeleton, but looking at it through the lens of a tech lead and the actual mechanism, we are missing the fuel and the feedback loop. A map is useless if you don't know where the gas station is, and repetitive procedures can become rolled out upon them. Here's what we're currently forgetting: the resource fuel, meta learning. In the book, 10% of total time should be spent on meta learning. We're asking what to learn, but not where the high leverage information is. Missing feature: each node needs a source material section. If I'm learning Kubernetes, the app should suggest or allow me to link the specific documentation page, a specific blog post, or an etcd or a raw source file. The pre-test principle of directness, exactly one of the most aggressive ultra-learning tactics, is attempting the task before you're ready. Missing a skip to audit button available from day one if you... Okay, let's see. Let's kind of see where we're gonna... And then we're gonna start building it as part of the actual network here. We're taking it from a structured roadmap to an aggressive mastery engine by adding the meta-learning fuel resources, the directness pretest, and the drill bottleneck tracking. We're moving closer to the actual cognitive science behind the book. Okay, I've updated, sure. Debugging JSX error, okay. But yeah, the whole point is to build this engine, right? I'm going to first build it for myself. Of course, we're going to have it as part of Programmer Network. But I want to kind of really like Is Gemini better than Claude? I mean, Gemini is free in a sense. I mean, I have the Pro, but I'm using this before we move to. Is it better? No, I don't think so. But I'm not gonna waste I'm not gonna spend. I don't want to spend money at this stage because I don't care how this.
Detected. Programmer network updated.
Thank you very much, the Neo Beamer. So I don't want to, at this point, I don't care how this UI looks like. I don't care about anything. This is like, think of this as low fidelity stage. Now we're trying to build a feature that's useful. And then when we need something more awesome, better, we'll kind of move to that. So right now, imagine this is me drawing by hand. So this is so our goal now is to figure out the UX, like what makes sense. And then once we start building it, we're going to do it ourselves, and we're going to apply different methodologies on how we kind of code this, right? So right now, I just want to get close to some POC, proof of concept, so we see, does this actually make sense? Most people spend 100% of their time collecting information they will never use. We spend 10% of the map and 90% of high friction application. Start my map, okay, wow. I really want to translate this book into a feature that we add to our platform, because I think I got mind blown by this book, because it is, again, it's so crucial today that people learn about meta learning and I think the hardest thing about meta learning is that it's literally very specific to every individual person on this earth. So like, you need to learn how you learn. Like I might learn like this, and this might work for me, but meta learning really is about you realizing, okay, how do I learn best? Is it bottom up? Is it top down approach? Is it by doing, right? Because for example, I think most people are learning best if you throw them into the problem, but some people like to go like step by step, etc., right? So that's why.
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
Imp, thank you very much, buddy. That's very kind of you. Directness knowledge. Passive consumption leads to illusion of competence. And this is exactly why you need to be careful about watching my stream when I stream over these weekends. And this is why I think it's crucial for people to not fall short to YouTube and their content creators, right? In order to learn, like, you can watch, again, as I said, my stream today, for these 2-3 hours I'm going to stream. You will have knowledge. You're going to kind of gather some sort of things. But as I said, the quote, passive learning gains you knowledge. Active learning gives you skills, right? So meaning, if you're watching someone do something, you will gather some knowledge, some theory. But if you learn by doing, you will gather skills. That's a massive difference. Exactly, Chica. Okay, let's go. And Nestor, imp, hi to you as well, man. Okay, let's see. Pre-audited objectives, new audit, topic, technical utility. I don't know what that is, what it means. Let's see. It doesn't matter because this is just a demo. Strategic audit suggests prioritizing architectural primitives over syntax sugar. We're discussed. Okay, accept battle plan. Simulate and recover from a critical system failure under benchmarked time constraint. No friction identified. Start procedures to reveal technical bottlenecks. Nice, man. Yeah, exactly. So this is it, right? So you're kind of thrown. This is kind of the model we're going to follow, right? So you're kind of thrown into the problem. You say, hey, I want to learn Kubernetes, okay? Then you accept the plan and you say execution period, and then you have to demonstrate the master, right? So you have to then, and we're going to use AI for this. AI is so cheap, so at Programmer Network we can give it for free for people to use this because it's so free. But basically that is the way that you learn. You learn something, and then you have to kind of, okay, am I learning? How do I know I'm learning? And that is the part of the framework of this ultra learning is, okay, how do I benchmark myself against, am I actually learning or not, right? So that is, no, that's not it. Where the hell did my app go? How do I open it? This is not a greatest UX here. Give me a second. No, that's not it. I have to seriously scroll all the way up to open the app. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you see, to master a system, you must spend more time on the procedures than concepts. Exactly. Like, right? It's like you have to spend most of your time with the procedures, meaning execution, doing things, right? Not reading them or watching others do it. So this is kind of what we're trying to convey here. Pre-test proof. I don't know what that is. And then we're going to have some flashcards here, and then we have some table that we will also going to use. Okay. All right. So So the whole point of all, exactly. So Dracnet, you're absolutely right. There are three core questions: is why, how, and what, right? So the why, of course, is the most crucial, and this is basically, as we saw, like this is the core kind of message from the book as well. And I mean, many people know this, but most people don't apply this. Am I learning something for the sake of the outcome? So hey, I'm learning X because I want to get further in my career? Or am I learning X because I watched my favorite YouTuber doing it, right? So this is, of course, but again, most people don't follow these guidelines, right? So that's why we want to build this as part of programmer network. So hey, I want to learn X. You at least go to this crappy tool and you say, okay, I want to learn this. Guide me. Am I thinking this through properly, right? So, because again, in theory, everything is simple. You should just ask why and it works. No, it doesn't work. That's the thing. If it worked, people wouldn't come for this stream every time I stream and ask me, should I learn this, right? So if people were applying that state of mind and that framework of thought, they wouldn't be asking that question, right? And they are asking it a lot. Which programming language should I learn, right? I've heard that 50 million times, right? Okay, so, I mean, we have some crap here. What else? What else? We need to kind of narrow this down to a good place before we start. Like, so what else? So we're gonna have a, okay. Now we're gonna have basically benchmarking, right? So you have a user. So you have this guy. I think I've learned it. Then you have to benchmark yourself, right? Because all of us, we're assholes. We have ego. Benchmarking, right? And then here we can have these, what are they called? So this is what I found, spec repetition. So something like this, right? Exactly. And then what else? I don't know, but let's put a question mark. What else? How do we test ourselves? AI? Yeah, right. And again, just to be clear, right? So all of this that we're going to build, you can go right now to AI and accomplish. So let's not conflate. And I think what I just said is true for 95% of AI apps online. The only difference is that instead of searching for some crap in your AI chat that you asked it 3 months ago, we're going to build some features, some backend, some UI around, so that information is better aggregated, structured, and you can I can go back and forth and see how I did it. So let's not say that what we're going to build is somewhat mind-blowing in a sense, because if I go to Gemini now and I switch to guided learning here, right, you can accomplish very much the same. You can I mean, this feature that we're building is basically a one big prompt that we could create this gem here. So we can go and create a new gem. We can call it ultra learning. And actually, we're going to do that now. Generate an ultra learning prompt from this entire discussion. So I can create a custom Gemini gem called ultra learning teacher or whatever, right? So let's actually give that a shot. So it's just now the difference, of course, is that when you have things more structured, more visible, this is still why UIs matter, right? Is that so people can actually interact with something, save their progress, go back to it and stuff like that. So that's why we need applications around AI, right? But if I now go and grab this fella, right, and copy it here and smack it back in here, okay, yeah. And we could literally, I don't know if this ultra learning book has a PDF. I have it here in all of the books I buy in a physical form. I don't know if this book exists as a PDF. I don't know. Yeah, this is not the one though. Or actually maybe it is. The one I have is yellow. Download, can I download it? Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Let's do that. Then we switch to guided learning here, right? Yes. Okay, we save it. We start the chat now. So now we have our custom gem, right? Ah, shit. Wait, I messed up the... Gem not saved. Why? Okay. Okay, let's kind of... let's test it, right? So let's say I'd like to learn Rust programming language. Let's imagine. Cedric, my friend. Hey, buddy. How are you? Yeah, and this is exactly going to be the app we're building now, right? So phase one, the strategic audit. Identify the hype. Rust is often tutored for memory safety without garbage collector. While true, the hype often overlooks the steep learning curve for borrow checker. This is where the real implementation friction. Define the context. Why are you looking at Rust, right? Same, dude. I'm off now for 2 weeks, so it's going to be a lot of streaming and stuff like that. So, and a lot of work on Programmer Network. Define the context. Why are you doing it? Are you aiming for high performance systems or whatever? Apply, benchmark, emphasize, exclude. Most curricula spends weeks on basic syntax. Emphasis, 20%, ownership and borrowing, lifetimes, and the trade system. So this prompt is already amazing, right? So this thing already, and I made it in a wrong account. I should have made it in my other account, right? But what I'm actually gonna do, I'm just gonna move this to a different account. So I'll go here. I'll say gems. Say new gem. I'll grab this crap. I don't know why it uploaded that crap 3 times. It makes absolutely no sense. I'll do this. We're gonna say default tool guided learning. We're gonna save that. And then I'll share this with you guys. Ah, okay. I thought. Yeah, never mind. And then I guess I can start the chat here. Okay, well, I'll literally bookmark this for myself. I'll use this like shit ton. Bookmarks bar. Ultra learning. Done. Let's put it right here. Okay. Anyway, that's very good. So we can use that. Let's see. Did anyone sign up this year? We had one person sign up today. I mean, now let's. Okay. So let's get back at this guy here. So if we get back, we're going to start coding that soon in the actual PN. So would some Pomodoro or something there help out? I don't know. System design. No friction and if I start procedures to reveal technical bottlenecks. Okay. So let's start defining this as a feature. So I think that this POC is okay now. Let's now define these things into a technical document proposal for building this as part of our existing system as a new feature. Let's explain the following. What the feature does and which value does it provide for the users. Let's define the UX as this will be part of our programmer network under courses. The tables we will need, etc. Is it better than GPT? I don't know, man. I don't use, I mean, I only use this for like just brainstorming. Then we're going to switch the cursor. I don't really know. I mean, all of these models are amazing. They're proportionally good based on the input you give them, right? So if you write in some stupid shit in it, you're going to get a stupid response, right? So I would say that, yeah, your input is way more important for the quality of the model than anything else. So if you can conceptualize your thoughts and ideas, if you're already a great engineer, most of these models are great. If you suck, well, most of them will suck already. So Cedric, as I told you, as I wrote, I'm doing the Ultra Learning book. I'm finishing this book this weekend. And basically, I want to implement the core of this book into programmer networks. So essentially, implement the framework of learning into our courses. So when you start learning something new or whatever, I use Cursor from work. My company pays for Cursor, so there's no privacy there. I don't care what data, man. Why would I give a shit about this thing here? Explain it. Who cares? If I'm not gonna give it my passwords and my environmental variables, right? There's nothing here that if you, yeah, all of them have your data, man. Your thought process matters. Yeah, I don't know what you mean, man. I don't know what you mean. I think you're switching between three different subjects. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, yes. Yeah, your thought process matters. Of course it matters, man. Your thought process matters since the moment you're 3 years old, right? So I think that's given. There's never in history of humanity where your thought process didn't matter, right? AI is not an exception to that rule. Okay, so this is kind of some sort of a mind map, right? You want to learn something new. You kind of have to explain to yourself why. What is the? It's kind of a binary question. So why do you want to learn it? Are you focusing on the outcomes, or you're focusing on just learning itself, just for the sake of learning? Then we're gonna generate. So we're gonna have to use AI for this. And then we're going to have some benchmarking where you can kind of test yourself against, okay, am I actually learning? So you're learning something new. How do you know that you're learning? How do you know that you're acquiring skills, not knowledge, right? Because a lot of developers I met the past 2 decades being in this industry are people who mimic stuff they hear online. They can't actually do it, but they know everything. So they know that, oh, this language is so slow, or so fast. But then you ask them, what did you ever build in this language? And the answer is, right, nothing, right? So fundamentally, right, yeah, this framework is very good because you can actually be honest with yourself and say, okay, actually, fuck, I don't know this, right? I'm just acting that I know because I watched 5 videos, but I've actually never done it. Okay, let's grab this. Let's move to cursor. Do you know any Genius Python? I don't know what Genius Python architect is, man. Python is a fairly easy language, and I don't think that there is such a thing as a Genius Python architect. You need to be a bit more specific. I don't. That's very vague. Now, a question. How will the system make you make sure you're learning the correct stuff and not LLM hallucinations? Cold Runner, hey buddy. Thank you very much, man. How will the system make sure you're learning the correct? Well, I mean, number one, I will audit all the stuff that it generates. So basically, the idea is to pre-generate some paths which are very common, and then how will the thing is, man, like, I think one thing that people really lack in understanding when it comes to LLMs is that LLMs can be truthy or falsy just as human beings. If you read someone's blog, if you read explanation on Stack Overflow, if you read a book, no matter where you consume your information, you can never trust it 100%. If I say something in the stream and you trust me 100% on it, that's on you, not on me, right? So fundamentally, if you're an engineer, you always have a due diligence to do and to validate someone's opinion or experience against something else, against someone else. So you can never listen to me and take that fully as granted. Of course, some things you can, sure, which is arbitrary. So in simple words, like, keep asking this question, how do you know it doesn't hallucinate? How do you know that the human that you read a comment on from or some asshole on YouTube, how do you know that that's factually true? You don't, right? So why are we making differences between LLM hallucinating and human beings? There's no difference. People are saying wrong shit every day. If I find 10 blogs right now, 10 programming blogs on any platform, I'm sure I'm going to find at least 3 or 4 mistakes in every single one of them, right? So don't try to make such a massive difference between LLM hallucinating and a human being. LLM is going to hallucinate as much or relative to the quality of the data that it has been trained on, and the data that it has been trained on is written by humans. It's not written by, some sort of a different being, right? No, exactly. I mean, the thing is, you shouldn't be seeking, you shouldn't be obsessing in a technical sense with the absolute accuracy, right? Because absolute accuracy is irrelevant. No, it's very rare in human experience in any job that they do. What do you mean? Of course we do, man. Of course you generate a lot of shit based on your own opinion. Of course you do. I mean, you're not aware of that. Of course you do. When you don't know something, you you like, if every human being on this earth was pragmatic, honest, and like systematic, that would be true. But that's not true. Some people think that Earth is flat, right? Some people think that lizards live amongst us. Some people believe that there's a Santa Claus, literally. Why? Because they're ignorant and they didn't sit and read sufficiently enough. So of course that we are random as human beings. We think all sorts of things that the machine could never think, even in insanity. So I think, for me, the biggest problem of people obsessing with AI, that it doesn't have human intelligence, it's absurd. I hope that it never has human intelligence. There's nothing fascinating. An average human today is dumb as fuck, right? So like saying, oh, this tool doesn't have human, I hope it never has human intelligence, because there is nothing so fascinating about our intelligence. We kill each other every day. We bomb fucking hospitals full of kids. So what are we talking about? What intelligence, right? So it's absurd, man. Like this, the way that we conceptualize these things, for me personally, is fundamentally wrong. I think that this tool, this AI, which is indeed just a tool, is so much better already in many ways, right? Anyway, that's just my opinion. Of course, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, so take it or leave it. But I wouldn't, you know, I think we're giving humans way too much space for you know, oh, it's gonna hallucinate. It's not the smartest human. Human is not inherently smart. No. I know people, and I met people who are fundamentally dumber than the AI in every sense, right? If you had a colleague who spent 20 years researching the topic, I don't actually know. I don't know what your point is, honestly. Like, because now you're shifting into a different sphere. We're not talking about that. I have more than 20 years of experience in programming. I've been building products for almost 20 years, and I still use AI. I don't know why you're making this a binary problem. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Thousands of things can be false and true, and a mixture of that at the same time. So are you suggesting that now I shouldn't use AI because I have 20 plus years of experience? That's absurd, right? That makes absolutely no sense. If I, you know, I do have colleagues who have 20 years of experience. That has nothing to do with this, right? It's like saying, I don't know. Actually, I don't have a comparison for that, but it's not binary, man. It doesn't work like that. Okay, anyway, it's a good discussion, but yeah. All right, so let's go. No, this is not a repository. Let's go into a different thing. Where is it? I think it's this one, yeah. Okay, so let's now, what is this? This is our Kubernetes stuff. Let's close that crap. Let's open a new agent here. Let's close the other ones. Let's, we're not gonna do Kubernetes today because I was kind of maintaining some of the stuff. Okay, so let's get in a plan mode here. I don't think that I said that humans are as flawed. I'm saying that humans shouldn't be a relative point for anything, because we use ourselves as an example of highest intelligence because we don't know for better. And my argument is that we should not be doing that because it's absurd. Like, our intelligence, there's nothing fascinating about it. And yes, absolutely. Like, I would literally use AI 99% of the time more than I would talk to an average Joe. There's no secret there. Literally. Did AI make your job easier? 1,000 times. 1,000 times easier. Yes. 100. Hey, buddy. AI, has changed our industry a lot, and our industry is never going to be the same as it used to. And I think already today, and not to mention what's going to happen in 1 year from now or 5 years from now, we're going to be, most of us, we're going to be architects. We're going to mostly offshore or let the AI write the code, right? And we're gonna just architect things. Are many jobs gonna be lost? Yes, they are already lost, many of them. Sidesh, hey buddy, how are you? The thing is, the thing is, like what I can see, and keep in mind for if you're new to this stream, everything that I share here, I have a very basic rule in my life. I only talk about things that I know about, that I have experienced. When I talk about technology, I only talk about things that I've built in production at work with other people. So for example, if I have tried Clojure in a Hello World app,
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
I'm not going to share opinions on it because my opinion is meaningless because I haven't used it in production. So everything that I share in the stream is based on the real experience with real users and stuff, because I personally believe that that's the only experience that matters. Everything else, I built a to-do app. Nobody gives a shit if you build a to-do app. That's meaningless. So, right? So in the same context of me sharing opinion on AI now in this very stream is based on what I see every day at my company at work. We are definitely hiring way less than we would have now if we didn't have AI. Am I saying that the programmers will disappear, vanish from this planet? Of course not, but simply it's a factual thing. You can achieve so much more today with less people. That's it. It's not like a theory. It's not my desire, my wish. To a degree, of course, I wish it's not like that, but I'm a realist and it is like that. So in simple words, what you can do today with 2 people, you needed maybe 5 people 5 years ago, right? So this is just how it is, and this is what I see at work, and this is what I see with my colleagues and their companies where they work. So this is just how it is. Do I think it's gonna affect the gaming industry? I think it's gonna affect every single industry. Yes. And I mean, people often talk about programmers in this context. Programmers are going to lose their jobs. Well, shut the fuck up, man. Imagine what's going to happen. What's going to happen to other industries, right? It's going to be way worse for others. Oh, nice, man. Of course, just keep on working, man. That's the most important part. Yes. I just need to find and give it some screenshots. Nah, that's not it. Super weird, man. Super weird. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna give it some screenshots that we generated. Give me 2 seconds. Oh no, that's a wrong input. shit. I'm not a programmer, but it always interests me. What kind of software you use right now? That is a very broad question, my friend, but I can try. I mean, we use, programming has always been very, very static in that sense. You know, we use our IDEs, integrated development environments and stuff like that. But today we use a lot of AI, right? So basically we offload a lot of writing because we can't really beat computers at the speed of writing. We offload that to now, you know, so the most valuable skill you can have today as an engineer is knowing system design, knowing what knowing what to ask, right? You know, as Einstein said, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes looking for the right questions to ask, right? So it has never been more awesome in history of programming to be a good programmer, right? So it's still very important to learn how to program, and probably more important than ever, because these tools, as you're going to see now, are giving us so many powers that it's insane. But of course, in order to build it properly, in order to have it in production, you need to know, you need to be able to audit, you need to be able to, to review it, you need to be able to know when it fails, etc., right? So that is very, very crucial. Give me just 1 second. I'm now in a process. We're gonna turn this into a more context we provide to the AI, the better, right? So I'm just giving it shit tons of screenshots now, and then we're gonna have this. Okay. Okay, these are some of the low fidelity POC screenshots we built with Gemini, just to consider. But I think computers are here to stay. I think it's absurd to believe that computer nerds will be out of jobs. I think that's absurd. I think what's very crucial to understand whatsoever, and I'm 37 years old, so I've been in this industry for very long already. One of the core things in this industry for a very long time, and this has nothing to do with AI, has been we always had to learn. I don't remember a single year since 2007 when I got my first job in this industry where I didn't need to upskill. So I think when we say that developers will lose their jobs, what that really means is that if you are just stuck building the same shit, like, oh, I know how to build an API, or I know how to write a React component, yes, you will be out of job if you just remain there. Whatsoever, if you as a rational engineer, human being, understand that, hey, as times change, I also have to change, I also have to evolve, I also have to learn new things. But teach yourself to truly enjoy the process. I have always been obsessed by this process, even though I work as a technical lead now and I don't code as much in my work. I work in leadership, in technical leadership. I'm still obsessed to learn new things, to get better at things. And every single thing that I already know, I can get better at. Do I know SQL and Postgres? Yes. But I can get better at that 100 times. So every single one of us, no matter how good we are at certain things, so this is what it means. So as you see the AI doing certain things good now, you have to say, okay, well, what it is that it's not doing really good. Okay, this and this. Okay, well, let me learn that then. Let me become competitive on the market. So that's why we're doing this very feature today for Programmer Network, because,
New follower detected.
you know,
Programmer Network updated.
is like, how do I learn? What do I learn? How do I learn effectively? So that's why meta learning is it's already is, but it's not apparent yet to people. But learning how to learn will and is the most valuable skill you can develop. And in order to develop this skill properly, you need to build things You need to learn new things, and as you learn new things, your meta learning skills are gonna get better and better. So once you kind of sharp these things to a large degree, then you're gonna be able to learn things a lot faster. And then we need to review this now. Give me a second. So just to be clear, we need roughly things like this. Hey user, what do you want to learn and why? Give me 1 second just to open my notes before we start hacking on this thing. Is it instrumental or intrinsic? Apply the framework, concepts, facts, procedures, spaced repetitions, part, benchmarking, and emphasize, exclude. So absolutely, Drakenet, absolutely. So let me tell you a story. Maybe 10 years ago, I worked with a NASA scientist. Is in a startup. So back then I lived in Sweden, and I was part of a Think and Mind Park accelerators in Lund and Helsingborg. And this guy, Eduardo Siregar, he is my good friend today. He went back to the U.S. He's a professor of mathematics and physics in Washington today. We met when I worked at the accelerator in Sweden, and I worked for him for 2 years. I was building an AI app with him called Sophia. So he taught me about these things maybe a decade ago, and I never, up until that point, even asked myself once in my life. So back then, let's say I was maybe 25 years old. I don't think up until the age of 25 that I've asked myself, have I ever focused on meta learning? I didn't even know that concept existed, because nobody ever teaches you the crucial importance of learning how to learn, right? I think this is probably the most valuable skill that exists by far. It's like knowing how you can optimize for learning. It's an art, right? So absolutely, man. I think the fact that schools don't teach this, it's absurd. It's almost tragedy. And then I think we're now narrowing down the specification, and then we're going to start validating the specification if it's correct. Simple, Aaron. Hey, buddy. Give me 1 second. I found one case. You joined too late. No worries, man. No worries. All of the discussion today that we're doing, we're going to turn into an app as part of Programmer Network. By the way, please, those of you who are new, please make sure to sign up. We're trying to build the most amazing place for programmers on earth, so make sure you sign up. Let's maybe also give some more love to spaced repetition. That screenshot kinda illustrates that users could also create their own cards for given resources. What do you think? Nowadays, many cheat in school with LLMs. I mean, I think that's absurd. So I remember when I went to university, I never understood people who cheated, because the biggest irony of cheating is that you don't realize that the only person you're cheating is yourself. I don't think that your teacher gives a fuck if you cheat, right? Because once you get out of school and you don't know shit, you're fucked. Because I mean, it's like absurd. It's like you go to a technical school, and technical schools are literally about, are you capable of proving your technical, tangible knowledge? Right? It's kind of absurd, because it's like, man, you pay for school. You decide consciously as an adult to go to one, and then you cheat. You think that you're kind of passing by, but it's like it's complete. I can understand that in high school, elementary school, because you could say these schools are mandatory and many things there are boring. It's like, I don't want to learn geography or whatever, or about volcanoes. I get that. But you're 20 years old or 18, so you're practically an adult. You consciously choose to go to university, and then you cheat. Like, it's absurd, right? It's absolutely dumb. It's like, why are you doing that, man? Why are you going at the first place? Then just don't go. It's also fine that you don't have university. I mean, university is just one of the many paths to expertise, right? And I would say, right? So it's kind of absurd that it's like, oh, I'm going to use LLM and I'm going to pass. Yeah, man, but you're going to suck. Nobody's going to give you a job anyway, so that's absurd. Why would you do that? You know, makes absolutely zero sense. Absolutely zero. Because your diploma means shit, man. It has zero value. Your diploma might give you an edge only to get an interview. But once you get an interview, you have to prove that you know. So it's absurd. It makes zero sense. I just have to be clear that we understand each other. Our current implemented courses feature remains intact. We don't want to change those, as those are actually human written courses. We do understand that, right? Gyros. I mean, yeah, that's weird. Two of them wrote the same comment. Are they bots? Gyros, that's probably a Greek guy. Actually, German. I see. Oh, I see. Fair enough. Meister Tipkid and Gyros Geyser. Cool, guys. Cool. Welcome. Willkommen, Scheiße. Das ist nicht so gut. I used to speak German when I was in high school. I forgot a lot of it. Auf Wiedersehen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, nailing it, bro. Nailing it easy. Das ist nicht so gut. Scheiße. Das ist Deutschland. Mother Deutschland. Nah, it's not. Fuck, I wish Oh, I'm not an American. Shit. Ew. No, I'm just kidding. I just feel like insulting every nationality on Earth right now. I'm in university and everybody cheats and doesn't put in the hours and we complain. So I think the biggest paradox of I think actually Nikola Tesla is the biggest fraud in history. You start a war by saying that. Exactly, Chica. But we like that. I think the biggest irony in life and biggest irony of being too well, right, is that Moshiko, hey buddy, I think the reason why you cheat and the reason why people complain, ironically, I think that people who have a life that's way better than people who don't are complaining more, which is paradox almost, right? So I think one of the best optimizations for some young people and old people in the Western world today would be that they're put in very bad circumstances. I think once you live your life too well for too long, once you become too soft and too privileged and too ungrateful of things, this ironically becomes one of your biggest blockers of success. So I think that is the irony, right? So that's why, for example, there's a bunch of people from India who like become CEOs of largest world companies. I mean, when you look at the demographics of CEOs in the world, I think Indians are number one, right? Because you start from some shithole somewhere and you work your ass off to not be there anymore, right? So the irony of life is that if you're starting from the very bottom, there's a higher chance, ironically, that you're going to succeed than some asshole today who's just like, oh, I didn't get a new iPhone, I'm gonna kill myself. So that is right. So if you are feeling like that, you should maybe try putting yourself in uncomfortable situation so you can see actually how much you actually have, right? Because one of the tragic incapabilities of humans that live too good is that they often forget what they have and remind themselves of what they already have, and it's very easy to lose sight, and then you focus on things you don't have, right? Sure, absolutely. Look, again, nothing is absolute. Please don't take my input here as we are engineers here, right? We know that things are never binary except life and death, right? So everything I say, take it wider. I'm not saying all of them or none of them. It's just taking it as is, right? But the point being is, it is very good for some people to get a bit of uncertainty in life so they can actually progress, right? Because if you can, if your parents bought you a 6,000 euros computer, they sent you to university, and you're like, fuck this shit, man. I'm not gonna learn this crap. I'm just gonna go and play League of Legends for 8 hours and then gonna pass my exams using LLM. You're too good. You're too well off, and you don't know what a struggle is. So of course you're gonna cheat because you don't care, because you have a roof over your head. There's no uncertainty, right? So you need to be put in a shitty place, and that's where you would progress, right? Okay, shut the fuck up, everybody. Now let's read this. This plan implements the learning feature, an ultra-learning inspired system that provides AI-driven learning paths, mastery tracks, and spaced repetition flashcards. This is a completely separate feature from the existing courses system. Courses remain untouched. This is a new, independent learning methodology. Core features: user input and motivation, topic, context, and motivation, instrumental, intrinsic, directly from Ultra Learning book. We are literally building a feature that inspired by this book. Framework application, concepts, facts, procedures, exactly from the book. Space repetition from the book. Benchmarking from the book. Emphasis exclude from the book as well. This is some mermaid diagram. Let's see. We have a user. Yes. Creates a card. Yes. Yes, very good, amazing. Very, very good. I like it. Chica, you will never get banned, my friend, ever. I only ban bots. I love to disagree with people. I always try to surround myself with people that I disagree with, because that's where I learn, that's where I grow. What I don't like doing is hanging out with people that I agree with too much, because that becomes an echo chamber, and then we all just pat each other over the shoulder. If you're surrounded by friends that you constantly agree with, maybe change your friends every now and then, because you need to put your brain in a state where you can think, be challenged. Because if you're constantly just nodding your head and agreeing, that means you're stagnating a lot. So if you surround yourself with people that are willing to challenge you, and vice versa, that like to be challenged. I'm very fortunate that at work, where I work, and also my friends are open to discuss things, not come pre-armed with ideas, ideologies. Only an idiot is ideologically driven. And in fact, I would say avoid people with ideologies, because it's like talking to a robot. You already, once you figure out what a person's ideology is, you can already know everything they're going to say next 20 minutes. So it's pointless talking to people who come with a preset of ideas. Mastery tracks, track nodes, learning atoms, concept, facts, procedures. Exactly. AI decides if boss node is needed. Types, concept, fact, procedures. Track node dependencies. Frictional logs. Buraco chocolate, yeah. Frictional logs, implementation steps, database schema, create a migration file, mastery tracks, create tables, create enums. Okay. Let's make sure that the plan includes everything from agents file, and I think I have agents review as well. Agents, do I not? Yeah, that kind of sucks. Okay. This is the most crucial phase of software engineering today. There is nothing more important than nailing this properly. If you nail your specification properly, which is the most ancient way of building software, going back 40 years ago, believe it or not, before we implemented the massively agile, ship fast, fail fast type of bullshit, we used to write technical documents, ULM diagrams, unified modeling language, like grunt charts and bunch of shit, right? Like, so this here, which we're looking at, might not seem like software engineering. In fact, this is the most engineering part of engineering work is this. Programming, writing code is not engineering. That is a hard skill. You can say, okay, it is kind of engineering, but that's, you could say in most cases, an easy part. This is engineering. You need to engineer a solution and then execute that plan. So better you engineer it, better code quality you're going to have, better cascading of features and abstractions, etc. is going to be from top down, right? Etc. etc. So that's why this part is so fundamentally crucial. It's insane. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Because everybody knows, right, what you're going to be doing today. All right, let's build 19 to-dos. Let's see what it does. All right, while it's doing that, because I don't think it's fun, let's chat a bit, and then we're going to read the code, review the code, and shit like that. But until then, I'm not going to be looking myself on on a bunch of generated code. Then we're gonna have to review that together anyway. Okay, let's chat a bit. Come on, let's hit me up with some questions or comments or whatever. Or actually, while we're doing this, we could read some news, and you guys can also sign up on Programmer Network. So if you haven't, please do that right now. Please do that right now. Let's take a look at the news. For those of you who don't know, we have news here on Programmer Network that we aggregate. So let's see. Actually, there was some news that I read, that I saved here, that I bookmarked, that I wanted to do. Let's go to my bookmarks. Cloudflare Radar. That's what I wanted to check. A proposal for the human web. This was an interesting one today because we self-host our own server. So let's see, we'll open a couple of them while this thing is generating code. And let's see anything interesting today. Security company Koi finds browser extension with 8 million total installs that collected users' conversations with AI chatbots. Oh my God. What the hell? That is really bad. That is really bad. Shit. Okay. Okay, fuck that. Proving bounds. YouTube head of products. Okay.
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
Thank you very much for the follow, Jirkas. Build your own React. Okay. Somebody wrote I guess, a tutorial or a guide. Okay. Let me share this. This seems like an interesting article. So you've been this 20 years. I'm 10. What do you look from when hiring? Mashiko, actually, I designed that. I designed that sound with AI, and then I built that with CSS and Tailwind and JavaScript. The thing. I did it 2 days ago. I just took a couple of hours in the evening. So what do I look when hiring? Well, for example, I'm still so when I. Okay, let me make a step back. It's a good question. So let's just get back here. So what do I personally look when hiring? Let me actually, okay. So the question is in our live stream, so you've been doing this for 20 years. I'm about 10 years in. What do you look for when hiring? I think the most important thing for me when I get in a person in a room, when I'm in the actual interview room, is that we kind of started off very informally. I think that people hate. I don't think that interviewing is a natural process for most normal people unless you're a psychopath. So I think first and foremost, when I interview, I like to make the interview room be like a conversation, like a workshop rather than interrogation, right? So what I never do is I'm like, tell me what is a prototypal inheritance and how it differs from a classical inheritance, or what is a factory pattern. So I still do like for people to know these the questions to these the answers to these questions, but I rather like to get them out of them by kind of them not even knowing that they're giving these responses. What I absolutely hate when people do in the interviews, and this is where I instantly know if they're senior or junior, no matter what they perceive themselves to be, is when a person comes and says, this framework is so much better than this framework, or this language is so much better than this language. Because every single time in these 20 years when I would ask people, because I would instantly stop them there and say, okay, why? Why is this better than this? Nobody can ever respond with that. The reason why they can't respond to these questions is because, these questions is because their statements are absurd. You cannot compare technologies in basically any technology ever made. You cannot use words like better or worse. That's impossible because these are highly complex things. So that your choice of technology, depends on demographics in the place where you live. So for example, if you live in India, you're probably going to have a bunch of Java developers. If you live in Sweden, you're probably going to have a bunch of C# developers because these schools there teach different technologies. Then your size of your companies, like, okay, where am I? Where are we right now? Like, what do we have in-house? Yeah, I have, 100,000 euros for this company for the next year. What can we do with it to make this work, right? So this is seniority. These types of things, like, a senior person is never gonna crap randomly in things, right? Because they understand that complexities of building software very rarely have to do with, oh, I read this arbitrary benchmark and Elysia.js can serve more requests than Fastify or Express.js. Is like, man, nobody cares about how many requests a tool can, an API can deliver, because that's in almost never ever a bottleneck, even remotely. Your database is going to be a bottleneck. Many other things are going to be bottlenecks, right? So some of these absurd things is just also how you can evaluate someone's seniority, someone's sense of building software with people. So there's a massive amount of people, as I said at the start of this stream when we started building this feature, who have the knowledge, but they don't have the skills. So again, you acquire knowledge by passively learning, and you acquire skills by actively learning, aka doing things, right? So in simple words, like what I look for in candidates when we get into that room, when we relax and we start talking about technologies, to kind of get the gist of, do they actually know how do you build software in reality with real people, with lack of people, with deadlines, with lack of knowledge, with ever-changing requirements, with et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is what I care about. Now, of course, I do like when they do know technical details. I do believe that if you're a web developer, you need to know how the browser works. You need to know JavaScript. You need to know the browser runtime. You need to know document object model. You need to know what a variable hoisting is, what a prototypal inheritance is. So of course, this is useful to know. And of course, the crappy argument that you will get when we talk about this is like, yeah, but anyone can just sit and they can learn that. Well, why didn't you learn it? And this, of course, isn't about if you can learn it or not. It reveals certain details and seniority of a person. If you don't know how the browser works, or if you don't know any document object model API, if you don't know how HTML5 history works, then that tells me that you've never actually built anything besides installing some abstract framework and following the guidelines on import this, put this thing here, and it's going to work, right? So these details don't matter because you will have to re-implement your router every day. They matter because they reveal, do you actually even know how these things that you're using work? Have you been in this industry before these frameworks existed? Because, you know, we didn't have these Reacts and Angulars forever. We used to write plain JavaScript, jQuery, for example. Same on the backend side. We used to write PHP without Laravel. We used to write C# and Visual Basic stuff, right? So I like to hear this in the discussions. So I'm not going to ask you, tell me what how the implicit coercion works in JavaScript. But I like to hear this throughout the discussion. These things reveal themselves, and you kind of know what people know and what they don't know. And then you also can kind of decipher if they have a very high-level abstract knowledge. You know, I'm going to install this library. I'm going to set up this thing. I'm going to put this here. And that's also fine sometimes. Sometimes you just need a person that's kind of okay. They can deliver some work. But going forward with AI, this is not going to be sufficient anymore. I think what the future of programmers look like is that you either going to be very good, you're going to know low-level stuff, whatever low level is relative to your runtime, and then you're going to have these prompters who are going to make no money. Everybody's just going to be prompt. So you're going to need these specialized people who know how things work, and then you're going to have these other people who can just kind of sit with product managers, generate some crap, but they have no idea how things work. But the space in between is going to die. So you either going to be very good at programming, or you're going to be like super shitty, and you'll still kind of maybe have a job, but you will be irrelevant because everybody will be able to just prompt shit, right? So, I mean, it's not rocket science. Build me a form. I mean, my mom can write that, but what my mom doesn't know is what that form is, how it works, right? So this is kind of, this is my take on hiring, yeah. And that's Russian Lorenzo. That's fine, man. That's exactly my point. I think that that's exactly my point. You don't need to know every single thing at once. Okay, let's go back to the code. It seems that this guy has actually, in fact, built it. A factory pattern is simply a way to create objects through a single place so the rest of the code doesn't need to care about the exact class being used. Yeah, you're hired. You're hired instantly. You would be surprised how many people would know what a factory pattern is today. I'm sure many in this chat here wouldn't know that either. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, today the technical challenge has lost meaning a lot. Fluster, the only useful thing with technical challenge today is that when you enter that room, you can talk about something. So it's like a set of subjects you guys can cover. But nobody, I don't care. Like if I interviewed you for a job at Dream Data, I would not care about your challenge. Because, come on, right? You can sit prompt 3 times and you're going to get it. But I would conceptualize the challenge in such a way where it can open up a lot of questions that I can ask you, right? So yeah. Okay, let's see. This guy seems to have generated a bunch of code. Let's see where that code is. Okay. Okay, it's a massive micro. Okay, now we need to review. Now we need to go ahead and review. So let's do that. This is now our job. This is where we come in. Okay, let's see. Migration create mastery tracks table creates the complete learning feature schema. Mastery tracks score. Okay, we know that already. So track status enums. Should they be enums or not? We'll see. Enums are a little bit annoying to migrate in Postgres, so let's see. So we have a mastery tracks, user ID. Okay, topic, context, motivation, strategy. It's JSON B. Okay, good. Verdict score status. Sure. It's adding in. Let's see if the indexes actually are needed in certain areas. So we have the hard thing about indexes when you try to optimize databases is that in order to truly add useful indexes, you need to know how this data is going to be consumed and fetched, right? So of course it's super easy to just smack shit tons of indexes, right? But indexes come with a cost as well, right? So they're not free. It's not like, yeah, let's just index everything and it's great, right? So that is maybe the only downside of us when we spec this out, is that we should have tried to understand more how we're gonna work with this data so we know which indexes we actually need, right? So how are we gonna fetch it? How are we gonna join it, etc. But it doesn't matter. I mean, this looks fine, honestly, this one. Then we have the flashcards table. A flashcards has a front and back. The only thing, because we're using TipTap, I suppose that this should be better. Because we are using TipTap all across our platform, I believe that these should be more suited as strings or JSON Bs. Check how we are doing it inside article model, for example, right? Okay, let's keep on reviewing. All of this is a kind of generic crap. All of that looks good. So I'm going to say keep this. And this is a beautiful thing about having a very strong code base, because our code base, our programmer network code is really good. It's also able to infer from that and generate pretty much kind of mimic the rest of the crap that we have. That is a very important part. Okay, now very important, we have learning cards here. So we have the interface, yes, we have the sequelized model, front, back, blah, 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 very correct. I mean, very hard to disagree with this, it's awesome. Learning track agents, types for AI agents response, okay? And then we need to also design that. This we'll need to test like living crap out of. Yeah, we'll also need to test all of this. Sure, that's very good. Okay, let's see now. So probably the most core part of this feature is the prompt to the AI, because that's going to define the usefulness of this very feature. You're an expert learning strategist following the ultra learning methodology. Your role is to analyze a learning objective and generate a strategic learning path. Core principles: directness, knowledge from the book, exactly. Prioritize practice over theory, of course. Drill, target weakness with focused practice, yes. Retrieval, force active recall, not passive recognition, exactly. Feedback, honest assessment of progress. Oh shit, I'm gonna drill us here. I'm gonna tell it to be so. I'm gonna tell it to be Alex here. It's gonna be brutal. Taxonomy, concept, mental models and principles, understanding. Fact, discrete data points to memorize, recall. Procedures, skills requiring repetition, as we explained today. Emboss, capstone challenge to prove mastery. Very good. Your task: analyze the topic in context, identify high leverage primitives, emphasize, identify low level fluff, exclude. That is kind of the framework of thought, of learning. Generate a dependency tree of learning nodes. Decide if a boss node is appropriate, not all topics need one. Provide a benchmark, time or score expectation. Strategy, format, emphasize, primitive, that, exclude. Benchmark, complete X in Y hours with Z accuracy. Verdict, brief explanation of the strategy. Verdict, score, type. Very good. Oh, so good, man. So good, so good, so good. Rules, boss nodes should be rare, only for topics with clear mastery demonstrations. Concepts come before facts and procedures, of course. Procedures should specify target repetitions, 8 to 10 range. So hey, you want to learn Kubernetes describe command, make sure that you've used it 10 times. Kubernetes, kubectl, describe, pod, whatever. Each node must have a clear, actionable challenge. You're an expert evaluator using the Feynman technique. I actually have zero idea what Feynman technique is, so let's take a look at that. The Feynman technique is a 4-step learning method named after physicist Richard Feynman, designed for deep understanding. Oh, fuck yeah, man. I want to learn something new. So nice. Oh, I gotta chill now. Let's learn this. Feynman technique. Let me get some water. Give me 1 second. Let me just write this actually on my tablet here. After the stream, I'm gonna explore that physicist a bit more. I'm a little bit ashamed that I don't know about this technique, but it's my ego speaking, not me. The Feynman technique. Feynman. The Feynman technique. Beautiful. Okay. The 4 steps of Feynman technique. Choose a concept, select a topic you want to learn, and write its name at the top of a blank sheet of paper. Teach it. Okay. I think I'm familiar with this. I just didn't know that it's that. Write it. Teach it to a child. Write out an explanation of a topic as if you were teaching it to someone with no prior knowledge. So, basically, like Einstein said, explain it to me like I'm 6 years old. Use plain language and avoid jargon. Identify gaps. Review your explanation to find areas where you're struggled or used complex terms. These shaky spots reveal exactly what you don't understand. Yes. Review and simplify. Go back to the source material to fill those knowledge gaps. Why it works. Active recall forces you to retrieve information from memory rather than passively reading. Metacognition helps you think about your thinking to spot assumptions and logical holes. Very good. Simplicity versus as mastery. If you cannot explain a concept simply, you do not fully understand it. 100% agreed. Fuck yeah, man. This is so good. Very, very good. Very good. Beginner guide to feynman technique. What is this video?
And this is how you do it. The feynman technique is a 4-step process for true.
Okay, I'll watch that later. Let me leave it here. Let me pin it. Cool. All right, great. Let's go back to the code. Very nice. Fuck, I'm so happy that I learned something new. Grading criteria clarity. Can a beginner understand this? Accuracy. Is the explanation technically correct? Completeness. Are key points covered? No jargon. Are buzzwords defined or avoided? Jargon detection. Undefined technical terms. Acronyms without explanation. Abstract concepts without concrete examples. You're a drill sergeant for procedural skills. Your role is to generate variations of procedural challenges. Variations should test the same skill in different contexts. Avoid trivial changes, just renaming variables. Include edge cases and common pitfalls. Keep difficulty consistent. Variation format, challenge, new challenge description. Expected difficulty, same, harder, easier. Okay, I mean, this is awesome, man. Jesus Christ, so good. How impressive this is. AI generated this in like 7 seconds. Absolutely fascinating. Let's see if AI kind of failed to finalize this or if it's not needed. Give me 2 seconds. But if we are not doing any associations here, why left this code like that? Just remove it. Jesus Christ, man. Okay, very good. I think backend is awesome. I like this. The only thing that I don't actually see is, which is absurd, is where's our API? But where is the code for our API? Routes, services, etc. Also our frontend. Very, very good. This stream, we can definitely get far with this. And then, of course, I'll get off stream in a polish mode and stuff like that. But I think this is going to be super useful for all of us. Looking forward to see this live in tomorrow already in production. And also just to, even if it just helps for some time and people kind of embrace this framework of thinking, framework of learning, it's already a massive win, massive win. And then coupling this with our existing courses features. So Cedric and I are writing some courses now. So essentially coupling this together, finding a way to merge them, not merge them together as one feature, but rather to complement each other. So when you write a course, you can kind of create this sort of a ultra learning type of stuff on the side as well. So yeah, we have rate limiting on our reverse proxy level on our Kubernetes and stuff. But for sure, I mean, the thing is, yes, definitely. I think the good thing that models today are very cheap and, I mean, we're gonna cap it just so people don't abuse it. But I think we're gonna leave it generous so people can still learn and stuff like that, right? I don't mind, spending a little bit of money for people to use the platform to kind of at least provide some value, so you have a reason to use Programmer Network. But of course, we're gonna. I think we don't have to protect against 99% of people. It's just if there's one asshole out there, that's what we have to protect against, right? I think I don't mind paying some dollars monthly for this to be useful. That's just Mermaid in Moshiko. That's just a Mermaid that Markdown supports. So you can use that. It's Mermaid. It's this thing, but it's also supported natively on GitHub and many tools, right? So you can just go here. I don't know. Are they seriously now requiring that you sign up instantly? Open editor. Come on, bro. Yeah. So you can see here it's a very simple system. You can also they have a bunch of examples here, and they also have. But it's basically a markdown type of way to draw things, right?
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
Cool. Of course, man, my pleasure. Thank you for asking. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to check one thing. It's crazy how much you generate with AI, honestly. I think it shoots them. I think it's not just me, man. I mean, again, think about it this way, man. I've been doing this job for professionally, again, for 17, 18 years, full time. I don't think there has been a month since 2007 that I didn't work, right? I don't have to prove to myself anymore, can I write an API, design a database, or write a React component, or a play, or whatever. It's completely absurd. I think not using AI today, it goes beyond absurdity if you know how to do things. It's so absurd that it's unexplainable. Like, you see what AI is able to do if I gave it my own code. So all of this code that you see in Programmer Network, of course, at one point I wrote it. And now I'm saying, hey, well, given all of this amazing knowledge that you have already, because I've already done these things, just generate these strings yourself. I mean, just look at the stuff here, right? Like, when you look at all of these files, right? There is nothing inherently unique in any of them. Every single of these files already exist in this project. They have different names. So for example, this model has user ID front and back, and a user model has a username and password, whatever, right? So you get what I mean? So fundamentally, it's like, why write this manually? It makes absolutely zero sense. That's why since AI came out, I've never had more fun building things in my entire career. Because now I can use my expertise in system design, in product development, in project management and stuff, and actually build things quickly without worrying about writing strings. It's absurd, right? Do you think IT will remain good paying industry? Yeah, it definitely will. But it's already changing, and you know, people will have to upskill a lot and people will have to get better at many things. But yes, of course. But people will have to, you know, it's going to be tough for some people for sure. Especially for less curious ones, if you may, right? If I show you my old website, my very old website that I haven't updated in years, there's one quote here said by this Indian guy. It says like that. There's no end to education. If it's not that you read a book, pass examination, finish with education. The whole life, from the moment you're born to the moment you die, is a process of learning. So I think that quote I learned a decade ago. I don't know how old my old website is, and it's never been more accurate to remind oneself of that, right? So those people that will struggle are people who think, oh, I paid for my education and I request a job. I must have it. I earned it. I deserve it and stuff. Like, you deserve nothing, man. Nobody deserves anything. You only deserve what you get, really. That's unfortunately the sad and beautiful part of capitalism, is that you deserve nothing. You deserve nothing. So it's kind of, so yeah, it boils down to one's capability to understand these things. Ooh, we have to review the living crap out of this. We have to review the living crap out of this file now. Okay, we actually reviewed that, so that is correct. React, yeah, I mean, React is the most popular URL library ever, man. I mean, you can joke as long as you want. It's absurd. I mean, joke is on you, right? It is a library, yes. React is a library, yes. Well, yeah, this we cannot allow. Are those Secret Lab chairs good? I thought buying one. I don't know if it's worth the money. To be honest, it's just a chair. Is it justified money wise? I cannot tell that, because it's an okay chair. Honestly, I don't give a crap about brands. I only care if they pay me to advertise them. I bought this chair because I read good stuff about it and I like it for sure. But would a 100 euros Amazon chair be as good? Probably. So I wouldn't honestly exaggerate and say, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Maybe. I mean, I had it for a couple of years now. So I think it's good. But is it good? I don't know how much I paid it. A few hundred euros. I don't know. I mean, I have to say, if you're an office worker, I mean, there are two things that you should really invest money in: a good chair and good bed, right? So never save money on a chair and a bed, right? So because your ass and your back is there. MDS Ubuntu, hey buddy. Yeah, there's some of the things that I dislike here, but we'll fix that. This code is very imperative. I hate this. So we'll kind of shoots them. That's 100% true. Yes, man. And there's nothing crazy about it. That's expected, right? It's absurd to think that machines are inherently superior to us, right? Stefan, my pleasure, man. machines are inherently superior. Like, for example, let me give you an example. People talk about context, right? And say, oh, this model only has 200K context.
Programmer network updated.
AI has so much more context than our brains that it's absurdly uncomparable. Like, AI can take nearly this whole repository
Detected. Programmer network updated.
and link things. A human brain cannot do that. So, I mean, AI is inherently superior in every way. What it's not superior in yet is, of course, its ability to objectively make certain decisions. So you still need a developer to validate, to have some opinions. But I don't think it's a matter of an opinion anymore. I mean, it's just factual. So I think the only people who have a hard time accepting that fact are people who always existed throughout history and any technological wave, these skeptics who are actually very scared for themselves and scared of change, rather than just saying, okay, well, there's a new tool in the block, it's very good. I don't even know what is that guitar spiel. Who made that? Okay. It still struggles. It struggles only depending how you use it, right? It really struggles depending how you use it, right? I think the biggest problem with people that find holes in the thing is, let me put it this way: no matter how amazing something gets, a person that has locked in on disliking something out of ideological reasons, this thing to the right is always going to remain disliked. So, for example, no matter how far the AI gets, a skeptic is going to always also grow in their skepticism and always going to find something to dislike. So, for instance, 4 years ago, AI failed to write a proper function that you didn't need to adjust massively. Today, AI can generate almost full-fledged projects, right? So the skeptic that was complaining about shitty function back then is now just complaining about that, well, yeah, but can it cover 2 million lines of code base, right? So a skeptic is always going to find some relative point to complain about, right? So there's a person who's decided to lock in on hate is always going to justify why it sucked. So 4 years ago, we complained that it was not creative, blah, blah. Today, even though it's amazingly fascinating technology, you're going to find someone who's going to say, yeah, but can I give it the 7 million lines of code? It's like, that's not the point, man. Nobody can conceptualize 7 million, let alone human, right? So it's a fascinating technology. It can be used for many great things, right? It is. Jenny TV, yes, C is a beautiful language. It was one of my first languages that I wrote. And I believe that C should be learned as a first language to many people, depending, of course, on character and stuff like that. But humans are inherently not deterministic, right? I think these arguments are very vague and silly. If I gave you, Zafir, a task to do it 3 times, you would do it 3 times differently. 100% you would. So I think this determinism type of thing is meaningless, because it's as deterministic as humans are, if not more. So if I gave you a task to do it 5 times, you would do it 5 times differently. It's literally physically impossible to do it the same for humans as well. So there's no difference. It has nothing to do with AI per se, right? Yeah, it just failed with the schemas, yeah. But is that true? I'm not so sure. Yeah, why is it doing this? Makes no sense. All right, so basically it wrote bunch of useless code that's basically not doing much, right? So we'll kind of get rid of that. Absolutely useless. Give me some tips on learning backend from scratch, things which you can. Well, we need to be a bit more specific when you say backend. If you mean building APIs, then say confirm that, and then I can give you some tips. Yes, backend is a broad concept, right? So weird. I don't know why it does this, because these errors will propagate to our error handler, so this is kind of meaningless. Meaningless to write this absolutely useless stuff. How to speed up next? Go to ChatGPT and ask that. It's gonna give you an way better answer than I do. And I don't use Next.js, so I don't know. The best way to speed it up is to not use it at the first place, because you probably don't even know why you're using it at the first place, right? So best way to speed up that server-side rendered bullshit is to just give up on using it. Yes, I just mean in general, I want to build apps on MERN stack just to learn the stack. Where should I start? Storing, retrieving data, what else? Well, I mean, let's be a bit more engineers here. Like, why do you want to learn that stack? Why did you choose that, right? So let's first understand, let's focus on concepts first, right? So first and foremost, if you want to do anything, you need to answer the question why, right? Why do you want to do that? Is it do you want to do it for the sake of learning, for the sake of getting a job, for the sake of getting better at your current job? And then, you know, so you need to ask many whys before I can give you an example of what, right? So I think let's very happy to respond, but you need to be a bit more to get a job as a full stack dev. Where do you live? Did you check your demographics, like in the area where you live? Is that what companies are looking for? So in the area where you're going to be applying for jobs, is that stack that people are hiring for, or is it something else? Did you actually do your research? So before you decide, oh, I'm going to learn this stack, you need to understand, like, is this the best use of my time? Is this what you know, That's weird. Okay. Okay, so you did your due diligence there. Okay, great. Well, I mean, yeah, before you start learning it, right, make sure that you understand the concepts, right? So you need to understand high-level things, what it is to mean, what do people mean when they say backend programming, right? What is that? What is that in reality? Not in theory, right? What is that in reality? What do companies do when they say that? So that's your first step, right? Having a conceptualize it what it actually is, right? Yeah, okay, AI is really not doing... do you recommend WebStorm? I mean, if you like it, if it solves your problem, if you enjoy working in it, if there's something specific about it that you like, yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean, it's a very hard question to answer, right? Because I don't know, it's, you know, there's a bunch of text editors out there, Vim and Emacs and VS Code and Sublime Text, and there's millions of them, right? All of them fundamentally do the same thing, enable you to write some text, right? So would I recommend one or the other? I don't know. I don't think it matters at all. Only thing that matters is what you like, right? So if it works for you, then I would recommend it. It's you know, I would say that JetBrains is a very good company. They build very good tools, but you need to be able to answer that question for you. Like, why am I using this and not that, right? So as someone said, yeah, maybe just give it a shot, and then, you know, I mean, you know, some people fell in love with Hitler as well, right? So I mean, but I get your point. It's just, you know, some people enjoy shitting over each other in bed, right? Literally, they enjoy it, right? So it's kind of, you get what I mean? Literally, like some people get turned on when they shit on each other, right? Like, I mean, you know, so I mean, some people think the earth is flat, right? So people think all sorts of stupid shit and do all sorts of stupid shit, right? So, if they're happy with it, who cares? As long as they don't shit over me, I agree with you, right? Just, you know, I'm happy that I'm married and that I have kids. You know, I don't want to meet a girl and she's like, a big one coming, right? Fuck. You know what I mean? That would be very bad, right? So, as long as there's like a not big little banana coming out of someone's assholes over me, then, you know, I agree with you, man. I agree with you, right? That's just how it is. Okay. What the fuck is that, man? What the fuck is that? Big one coming, big one coming. Why are you not following agents? Yeah, I think auto is often better. That's the irony. What the fuck happened here, man? What? Oh, that's not what I... Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, that's what we do as well. Yeah, that's what we do as well, yeah. All right, let's see. Had to do it. Okay, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. I'm a realist, man. That's just how it is. I just say it how it is. Where is our swagger?
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
Here it is. Thank you very much for the follow, whoever you are. I can't. Okay. Our swagger flash news. Yes, I can show you the file. Yep. It's a very long file. It's a very long. Well, depending on the every repository has. So this file is 1,500 lines of, but it defines my entire the way that I write code. Yeah. Ratings, course Q&A, no. Learning. Yeah. So these are the new endpoints, right? These are the new endpoints. Let me just see course notifications, utils, thought, country. Yeah, exactly. So these are the learning. Yeah, no, yeah. Here they are. So these are the new endpoints we generated. So that's good. I mean, the code actually renders, which is, or compiles, or if you may. So that's very good. That's positive thing. Let's actually leave Swagger opened there. Okay, so let's say keep all, and that's very good. So now we have a new resource. I need to skim through it once more. So this is our router. Let's kind of get rid of this garbage, useless crap here. And let's kind of, yeah, so this is just basic CRUD stuff. No worries, man. Of course, dude. That's why I'm streaming, to talk to you guys. If I did, that's why I also stream only once a week, because only once a week I enjoy talking to you guys. More than once would be too much. So, create track. This is terrible. What the fuck is it doing here, man? Why is it not using bulk create or something? That's pretty bad. This is pretty bad. Why are you not using bulk create, etc.? What is this code, my dude? What is this code, my dude? Jesus Christ, man. Come on. Focus. Focus, AI. Focus. Cedric, man, I love you. Gonna go soon as well, I guess. I can hear both of my kids and my wife there. I'm also getting hungry. Oh, you can also hear. I see. Why do we not have an actual enum for that log thing? Let's not cast things as we agreed inside of our agents file. Rules MD is deprecated, yeah. That's what they initially had, and then they deprecated that, so it still works. But if you go to their documentation, they state that you should switch to agents. Yes. Yeah. If you go to cursor, keep in mind the reason for that is that OpenAI and bunch of these big companies, they actually created this agents MD, right? So this is kind of, they agreed that this is going to be a standard for giving AI some context. So this, you could imagine that this is going to become a standard, right? So that's why also if you go cursor agents MD rules, right? You'll see here that agent instruction markdown rules, but then if we take a look at if we go here, so there's cursor rules, as you can see, legacy file in your project rules still supported will be deprecated. We're recommending migrating to project rules or agents MD. Of course, man, my pleasure, dude. My pleasure. The thing is, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think oftentimes it does kind of suck. I think the greater the context it gets, it kind of forgets the agent's file. And I think I have a theory about it. I think the reason why it does that is due to the difference in remaining context. So think about it this way. If let's use smaller numbers. Imagine the context was number 10. This is max, right? And you are now in your session and you're already 7 out of 10. So your context is 70% used. But your agent's MD file, you see that my file has like 1,500 lines of rules, right? So I'm making an assumption. I don't know. I cannot. Don't take this as a. This is my technical assumption, is that if my file can't fit in the remaining context left in this session, it's not going to include it. Right? Exactly, right? So this is why oftentimes, right, it feels like, oh, why did you not follow my stuff, right? And that's why including it upfront is better, but again, you cut that context. The thing is, that's just how it is. How much the Claude Sonnet 5, I don't know. But I think that this month I've spent like $1,000 on AI. I think this month I've spent like $1,000. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. This is how much I spent this month. $1,000. A lot of it went on Opus and my company is paying for this, of course, but and this is nothing. This is very little amount of money relative to hundreds of hours that it saved me in time, right? So for a business, for a company, not paying this would be tragic for business today, because $1,000 is what, let's say, few hours of my hourly rate, and it saves me hundreds of hours of time. It's absolutely insane. How often do you use a single model? I don't know, most of the time. Yeah, it's fascinating, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. No question about that. Okay, to be honest, Wait, I have too many projects opened here. Jesus Christ, man. That's when you build a whole social platform on your own, almost. Kinda. And by the way, guys, especially the new ones, please go sign up. Just so you know, this platform is, this stream is always going to be about building the most amazing, hopefully one day, platform for nerds on Earth. So please sign up and, you know, pass by every now and then, see what's happening in the community and stuff like that. Ah, come on, dude. Let me just reload. Yeah, the plan mode is the only mode you really need, right? It is the software architect way to do things, right? Everything else is useless. The AI when not guided well can waste you a lot of time. It can make you very, very miserable. I'll just do a couple more rounds of review while this guy is doing this. And of course, some of this is not, I'm sure it will require yeah, we'll need to validate. We'll need to just go through, make sure that all of the transactions are in place and stuff like that. And of course, we'll need to play a lot with the AI and see if it actually works or not. Tracks. Yeah, we actually went through this. Let's just remove these useless comments as always. How many hours do you think it's healthy time to code? Man, I mean, you don't think like that when you're professional, man. I have wife and kids and other activities in my life, so I spend the time at my work, and then I enjoy other things. I don't think that coding is not like some sort of a majestic thing, man. Like, you should not look at it as some sort of a different activity than anything else. You should live your life. There are many greater things in life than writing code, right? So I certainly hope that you're not doing that. So go to your work, enjoy it, be good at it, build things for your customers, and then also, live a life as well. I think that is incredibly, incredibly important. So I don't think about, it's not like I don't think about it. This is a job just like any other, right? And you can be passionate about it or not. It doesn't actually matter. We don't have to be passionate about everything, but it's important that you go to gym, that you train, that you take care of yourself, your health, your family, your spouse, your partner, your kids, your friends, your whatever, right? Programming is just one out of a million things you can do, and it's certainly not the most fun thing. They're far greater. Play an instrument, get a guitar, saxophone, trumpet, whatever your thing is, right? They're far more cooler things than writing some gibberish code that nobody except you is ever going to see, right? So, yeah. And make friends along the way in your life and connections. Without people, it's impossible to live the life. If you don't have connections, if you don't network with people, you will have a very hard time in life. So I would say most of your focus of your life should be building bridges with people, making friends, because it's hard if you don't have them. It's going to be very tough. And I think objectively, the best person, the best version of yourself you can be is the person that's balanced. So if you're just sitting home and thinking about writing code and crap like that, you will be very bad at it, right? So you need to be balanced. You need to, you know, in order to know what to build, in order to come up with an idea, with a product, you need to be around people, with people. I don't know why it does, why it writes this garbage, man. It's insane. Why the fuck are you doing that, man? Makes no sense. Jesus Christ. So much useless bullshit, man. No, because I need to review, man. That's why. I need to make sure that AI has... so I need to review it anyway, so I'm just going to... To be honest with you, man, if AI remained like this for the rest of its existence, I would still be more than happy with it. So, if nothing ever changed, all right, so these tank actions are now, I would say, correct. I mean, yeah, there's definitely, we'll need to, some of these return types are now hard-coded and stuff, but who cares? Let's take a look at the reducer. Yeah, that can be improved for sure, but this is pretty generic stuff, so let's see. Guess here we need to do a check if it's, yeah. All right, cool. just a boilerplate selector is fine. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried about is this logic here, working with integers and stuff, but yeah, we'll see. It doesn't actually matter. Let's see if we have any type issues and stuff. Yeah, we do. So let's see, it wrote a bunch of crap. Correct. Hooks. Yeah, this needs a massive amount of review. It's fine. I don't expect it to be perfect in the first go. That's why we are here still to need to. Yeah, but I can see that it's kind of following pretty much the principles I gave it, so it's fine. Yeah, this doesn't belong here. We'll kind of move that to some hooks. It's fine. I don't care about the UI right now. That we will do. Cool. We need an enum here. I would never want to write code on my own, ever. So I do prefer that the AI writes code for me. And I'm the brain of the operation, if you may. So no, I never, ever want to write code manually in my life. Unless it's some critical code, like I'm writing Rust or C and I'm writing a train software for trains and stuff, then yes. Building web apps whose value of this code is meaningless, none, and it's going to change so very often. I don't think I want to do that ever again in my life, so no. Okay, beautiful. There's some boilerplate UI that's going to suck ass now. How many of you have signed up today? Okay, maybe 5 of you. I just visited the site. I would recommend to default. Yeah, I mean, actually, at this point, I think I'm going to do that because many people have said that as well. Let me take that feedback. Thank you very much, man, for the feedback. I very much appreciate it. Let me just take a screenshot and write that down just as one more proof of that. But you're not the only one who said that. So I'll just... let's just more feedback for the landing page. I think I'll do that tonight or tomorrow. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. And thank you for, I don't know if you signed up, but if you did, thank you very much. I'm trying to genuinely build over time the most amazing platform for engineers, and I have no doubts that I will.
New follower detected. Programmer network updated.
But the hard part is, you know, creating value and getting people to move from existing platforms. So that's going to take time. But it will happen at one point. I have no doubts. Okay, guys, listen. My wife is calling me for dinner. So both my wife and my 2 kids are there in the living room. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to head off. I might, because I'm on vacation now, we might see each other also tonight if you guys are around. So I think I might actually stream again. And let me just answer the last question before I leave. From an interview perspective, how much depth is actually expected in JavaScript and React compared to smaller libraries like Framework, Motion, Prisma, Digital Realm? I think that depends, Anoy, to who interviews you, right? That heavily depends. Interviewing is not a well-defined thing. I think I would much rather want you to understand the core principles of software engineering. There's nothing fundamentally crazy about React. There's nothing crazy about any of the things you listed. They're all built on foundational skills of programming, of software engineering, on certain patterns, you know, a virtual DOM that React uses, reconciliational algorithm. That's not rocket science. Developers used to build that 20 years ago. Many actually would know, okay, you know, so I would say that That's why fundamentals are so important, because everything that we use today, modern frameworks, libraries, even some protocols like HTTP, they are just built on core foundations of programming. So if you know these foundations, if you know what a closure is, what a module is, if you know some patterns, if you understand some concepts about how your runtime works, for example, why do we even need React? But this spans to business and stuff. So it's my response to your question would be a bit longer now. It would take me 10 minutes. But short answer to your question is it depends where you apply and who is interviewing you, etc., etc., etc. Right? So Muaz Khan, thank you very much, man, for signing up. Appreciate that. Okay, guys, I need to run now, but I might stream again tonight. So if you guys are around, come by, pass by. For those of you who are not going to pass by, well, thank you at least for being here today. For those of you who will stick around, thank you very much. Good to meet you. I'm Alex again, and I've been software engineer for 20 years almost, and building products, working with real people. So insights that you can get in this stream and my YouTube channel are all about always coming from the perspective of production, perspective of working with people, building products. I'm not content creator. I don't sit and replicate some documentation and make a video. So if you like that, if you like some realism, and if you like to get some insights from somebody who works in this industry every single day, going to work, building products that users use, thank you for being here. You're welcome to come anytime. And until then, I'll see you guys tonight or tomorrow or some other time. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.